What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Get With the Program.
What's up?
It's been a hot minute, but we got a hot episode for you guys tonight. And what better way to start off with the fight of the year? Logan Paul versus
Depressing if we're giving that the fight of the
versus
year.
Money Mayweather, baby. Welcome to 2021.
I mean, I know we had COVID last year, but goddamn, can we raise the bar a little?
Where the Logan, where the Paul brothers, are the Paul brothers running the game right now, bro?
For that circus, yeah.
Like, tell me, what are your thoughts? What's
I mean,
going on
if
with
you
this
think
fight?
about it, yeah, they are running the game. I mean, it's just become Instagram famous bullshit. It's just all
Which
clout.
game? Which game are they like?
They're running the boxing game right
no,
now.
not that.
It's
Game.
not real boxing.
It's
gonna
not.
say that
It's
game.
not real boxing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not even real exhibition.
I'm not even upset with the Paul brothers right now. I'm more upset with anything that with fucking Floyd Money Mayweather. That motherfucker has made more money by taking advantage off of the unassuming and innocent consumer than American colonizers when they first got here and they fucked over the Native Americans. That motherfucker.
But you know, he does call it.
Why are
legalized
you
bank robbery.
reaching for all this shit? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how he fucking took all of our money for that pay-per-view fight and didn't even.
Oh, did I miss the part where he made you fucking pay? Who told you to buy a fucking Paul
First off,
fight?
Yeah,
Let
man,
me-
I
Who
don't-
the
I
fuck
don't-
told you to
I
buy
don't
that?
pay for
Can we
that.
clarify? We streamed this. We
Okay,
didn't pay a
thank you.
dime.
We should have paid for it, to be honest, because that streaming.
Wait, you didn't even pay for it, so you can't even bitch. What fake ass are you?
Hold up. America paid. He made mad money. He made 30 mil off of that fight.
Not off you. So why are you bitching?
Because I'm fighting for my fellow brother. You selfish, nigga.
How are you gonna tell me that you're fighting for a cause that you don't even really believe in? You streamed it first off illegally. All right, you had no intention to pay for it, but you want to get all the credit as if you fucking paid for it. Why are you giving me a soap opera
I see
story?
my fellow brother being taken advantage of, and I make commentary on my show.
And you wipe yourself with your hundreds, and you wipe your tears away, and you keep driving. You don't do shit. The fuck you doing? What do you mean?
In fairness, I think the one who stays silent also he contributes to the evil. I think I'm what is it? A surge for justice?
You know what you are? You're the dude that's got like a stack of hundreds, and you flip here. Let me help you out, and then you pull out two singles. And you're like,
Why are
here
you
you
trying
go.
to vilify feet? Floyd Mayweather is the villain. I don't understand why I'm the villain.
The villain. He did exactly what he said he was gonna do. You knew what you were getting.
No,
you
no,
were
no,
getting.
no. He
Like
said
I
he
was
was gonna
saying-
knock that boy out.
No, but like I was saying, for the last couple of fights, he even says, what I do is legalize bank robbery. So that's what he did. He just steal people's money with garbage pay-per-views. The McGregor one was kind of entertaining, though. That one was entertaining.
That one was entertaining.
The Pacquiao one was garbage. The fight of the century, these nuts. Fuck it. And this one was just horrendous.
Terrible.
But what were the real expectations for this fight? You wanted
At
some
least some
value.
fight.
I wanted him. I
not
want
just hugging and running.
Listen,
in
I
and
knew
out.
that it wasn't going to be a competitive fight because there's no way Paul can really stand in a ring with Floyd Mayweather for 8 rounds and hope to overcome anything. But I expected exactly what I got. I expected him to get gassed in the first 2, 3, 4 rounds, which he did, right? And I expected eventually Floyd Mayweather to take advantage of his inexperience and lack of conditioning and fucking knock his ass down, if not knock his ass the fuck out, which didn't fucking happen.
But you saw he was countering. He was trying to. I feel like he would.
No.
Even though he chipped in, he got some clips in there.
No,
We spoke about this that day.
He got some clips in there, but it
Am I
wasn't
the
enough.
only one not surprised he didn't get knocked out? And when I say that, I don't mean because of skill. I mean that because like I don't know.
He's a heavyweight.
I mean, yeah. When you see the fight and you see the matchup, you got. I'm assuming. Oh, so you're not going off final form. This is like 20% of your power. And even from the little bit I saw of the fight, it's exactly what happened. That's why I'm like, you know what it is? You're upset. If I had paid for it, I didn't even watch it. But if I had paid for it, from what I heard, I would have gotten exactly what I expected.
You know what it was?
That sounds exactly like what they were selling.
It was dynamic saga for like the first 80% of it, where it's just like every Sunday you're there on Toonami thinking finally we're gonna see Goku finally get to go against Nappa or where the fuck Sand he was fighting on that episode.
Is there a community that's been waiting for Paul versus
Sorry.
Mayweather? Is there a community that's been waiting for Paul versus Mayweather?
It's a bad analogy,
There's a
but I
community,
guess.
there's a community that's been waiting for a fight. Period. Right? You're expecting for content.
No, we have the, UFC.
You were expecting
the
content.
general audience was expecting for Logan Paul to at least get knocked down. At best, a knockout.
Those who appreciate the sport expect competitors to compete to the best of their abilities.
Bro,
That's
there's
the
no real
simplicity of it.
expectation for this fight other than
Because-
Logan Paul gets knocked down or it's nothing out.
If
Nothing
that's
else.
what you
An
really
exhibition.
expected, there wouldn't have been a fight.
However, but here's the thing, man. What's the name? Mayweather. He almost knocked down Logan Paul. Like there was a part. I don't know if it was round 3 or 4.
No, there was a point. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
he
about.
clips him with the left hook, and then Logan just kind of like rests on Mayweather's shoulder.
He was
And Mayweather
counter
just
punching,
kinda,
but
like,
how many
closes him.
flurries did Floyd Mayweather actually throw when he had Logan Paul against the
None. What I'm
the
saying,
rope?
what I'm
He's
saying
none,
is
exactly.
that he just wanted Logan Paul to stay alive for the 8 rounds, so he can be like, oh look, we Because Mayweather could have knocked him out
He can
early.
run another fight.
Yeah,
That's all it
Mayweather
is.
knocked him out early. I'm telling you, Logan Paul just goes whoo after that left hook and just rests on his shoulder, and Mayweather's just there holding him instead of just
it became a
pushing
hugging
him
match.
back and then just
So
taking him out.
here's what I'm saying. Like, how often can Floyd Mayweather do this type of shit until he completely dilutes the sport
I was thinking the same thing, and not just him,
and it's no longer valuable?
but
as a
also
sport?
the Paul brothers, same thing. These little charades that are going on that kind of take
Eventually
away
the
from
clout will
actual
wear out.
athletes.
Right, right,
Yeah.
It becomes
we
a
all know
reality
it's
TV show.
bullshit.
But that's the problem. The fact that he didn't beat him, their clout is going to continue to rise. Now it's Jake Paul's turn. Now he's fighting Tyron Woodley. You get me? So it's just going to keep
I don't
going
want
and keep going
boxing
until one of them gets knocked out.
You know
for
what's
sure.
crazy is how shocked I'm shocked at how shocked you guys are about this, because we had this exact same conversation the last episode actually, where we were discussing how diluted the sport's become, and even George asked me, "Do you think it'll ever stop?" And I said, "No, it's not going to ever stop as long as the cloud keeps generating." Exactly
I thought
what
we
you're saying.
reached.
And you guys are all shocked. Like that's why I'm so surprised.
No, but I don't even take this seriously.
No, I know you don't, but like, okay,
To
for
me,
example, Chris.
I take it serious. I do.
What is there to take? It's a Paul brother.
It's stick.
No,
It's
man.
it's all
not-
a
I don't-
gimmick.
It's
if you go into
fake,
professional boxing, period, I want it to be taken serious.
Okay, but this
I
is not
understand
professional
why you don't
boxing.
take it serious. I'm saying it should be a serious sport.
That's exactly what I said last time, and that's what's confusing
But that's why
me
we
is
should have
that
standards.
where was this passion the last time? Because it's exactly what we were all saying. But now what we thought would happen happened, and now it's like, oh, now I'm surprised.
What
What do you
last
mean?
time? I don't
I'm not
remember last
surprised. I'm not.
We had this topic last
I
time.
knew it's gonna be
About-
bullshit
What fight was that?
through and through.
about that exact fight. We were talking about this fight before it happened. The last episode we were together, we had a topic about it, and we were discussing how it dilutes boxing because it's turning into just a clout
Did
machine.
I disagree?
You agreed, you just didn't agree that wholeheartedly.
Oh, I've seen. I expected Floyd. You know why I didn't agree as passionately as I do now? I was holding out hope, ignorantly as I might have been, that Floyd Mayweather might.
Realistic expectations, brother.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I'm hurt.
Like this is money, bro. He's been doing this with all his fight. He not only is he
Garbage.
arguably the best, he's also the best marketer.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, man?
1000%.
And he understands that this is all cash grab. You know this is a cash grab. So there's
You know
no
what it
reason
is?
to be
It's
shocked
told
about
us.
this.
It was a cash
you know,
grab, and people still.
Here's the
bought it.
artistry though. Like when you go into a strip club, you know the girl dancing in your lap is a stripper. She doesn't love you, brother. She doesn't care what you did at work that day. She's not asking because she cares about your story. She
Sure,
wants
but you're
your money.
confident in her abilities.
Right, but she's going to put up a facade that's believable, at least to make you forget
I get
about
you.
your
No, I get
bullshit
that.
wife or girlfriend.
This is the most
for
believable you
10
can get with
minutes.
Mayweather and a fucking
Floyd Mayweather is not even
civilian.
putting. He's a bad stripper. That's why I don't like him.
Funny enough, because he has
But
a strip
we
club that he owns.
said all
so he's
this.
promoting.
Shut up, Andres. I'm
He'd
talking
be a
about. I'm
really
saying it
bad
again.
stripper.
I'm saying it again. He's a really bad stripper.
bad
I'm
stripper.
reiterating because he proved that he is not only a bad stripper, but one of the worst. He needs to be fired. He needs to be taken to court. I want my singles back. This nigga's terrible. It's upsetting. It's highly upsetting.
I'm just not surprised. I mean, I don't know if he feels passionate as you do.
You didn't see the fight. That's probably that's what this comes from. That fight was bad.
Nah, but
If you're seeing the fight, you'd be
result,
angry.
the result is the result.
I didn't even pay for it. And I'm upset. God forbid. And I was telling them we should go half and half. I'm so glad.
I'm glad because
so
when we were
glad.
trying to
Should never
stream
buy that.
as soon because the stream was working for every fight. As soon as that fight was about to start, everything shut down. Not only my streaming service, like everywhere.
Same thing. Yeah, I was watching it on Discord. There was some people and their stream went down, and they had
Yeah.
to find it somewhere
And so
else.
we watched like the second round on my phone, and then it started to work again on my computer, and then eventually we were able to watch up to like the 7th round. When it got to the last round, that's it. It was
Shut
done
off
again.
again, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
Yeah, no fucking way.
I
a
would
whole
be
mission.
fucking speechless if I had to endure this injustice after pain.
and he was like, "Yo, let's just cop the fight." And I was like, "Are you sure?" and then
What a waste
I
of
asked my
money.
brother, "He's like, yo, is it worth it?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Fuck, all right, fine, let's do it." And then we couldn't get to it. It started to work on my computer.
Good.
We were
God said I'm going to save your wallet.
Yeah.
I feel like Chris stays up at night wondering, how can I waste my money? Let me buy the fight. Let me bet against Tom Brady. Like, he just... Why would you buy this fight?
Why, Chris?
What? Oh, okay, anyway.
Okay, but there was something about this fight that you really wanted
I
to
wanted
see.
to
That's
watch
why
the
you wanted
fight
to
because I
cop it.
wanted to see Paul get embarrassed. I think that's why a lot of people watch this fight.
But that's
because
what-
a lot of people. Paul's
that's-
like a. What is it
That's how
called?
they're marketing themselves.
Paul's a heel. Paul's the heel. You know, on WWE, how there's like a hero like John Cena. who's
And that's what
always
it's
there.
becoming. WWE.
And then there's the heel, right, who plays the bad guy, and
That's what I'm
everybody
saying.
wants
This
him
is
to
all
lose.
stick, man. Like,
Yeah.
none of this
He's
is
he's
real.
play-
Now it's become
Paul's
theater.
playing the heel, and then of course when he won the fight at the end, when he survived the fight at the end, when Logan Paul is talking,
He was real humble about
yeah,
it.
he's like, oh, I hate being the villain. I actually love you guys.
it was
I
an
appreciate you
honor,
because he
yeah.
made his money, so the role was over, so the movie's over. I'm like, bro.
No, but the movie's still going on. Jake Paul is the one that
For this,
that's
I
the
watch
real
the Rocky Balboa
show.
movies. I don't need you to fucking play a role for me. If I want to watch a boxing movie, bitch, I'll watch a boxing movie. Don't do
That's
this.
why MMA's done it right,
It's really
bro.
upset
MMA
you.
doesn't do any of these.
Really upset you.
The MMA, especially like the UFC, they don't do any of these weird ass fucking. It's both the best against the best.
All right, so now if you think boxing, who are you thinking of right now?
I'm thinking of Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury.
Anthony Joshua versus Tyson.
Yeah, but
Fury.
it's all the heavyweights.
Deontay
but
Wilder.
even them, they're
Canelo.
not being put out there as what the Paul brothers are doing right now.
Well, because they also have a bunch of millions of people that follow them from
Other
YouTube
countries.
and
Exactly,
shit.
they're running a whole different show right now.
Yeah,
So they're
Clout.
just really famous. Again, it's like Dana White said though. Well, what happens if you put Kim Kardashian versus Amanda Nunes?
You know what it is? Is that
It
our,
would sell the most pay-per-views in record,
our society
record history, bro.
more and more and more is being primarily motivated by fucking social media. This whole stock market in the beginning of this fucking year lost all of its fundamentalism, and it all just became about what's happening on Reddit. Is it GameStop? Is it AMC? And people ignored
Because everything's
Stones.
clout.
because social media. Because social media. If there's a fucking Reddit, if there's a TikTok, you can blow something up. Boxing, motivated by social media. I can't do it anymore.
Because think about it, that's the marketing of like
That's where everybody
today,
consumes
tomorrow. That's where
everything.
everybody's getting all the information. So that's where you got advertising shit.
It's AIDS. I can't.
So if you can master being famous on social media, you're gonna fucking make money.
And Floyd let them get away with it. That's why you're pissed.
No, Floyd
because
went-
Floyd
They
let
orchestrated all
I
of
wanted
it.
him.
They
to
are
stop
who
it.
we thought they were.
I wanted
And we
him.
let it-
I wanted
let
him
them
to
off
be
the hook, bro.
the hero. I wanted him to be the anime character
That's
that
Mayweather.
stops the villainy.
No.
Saitama, he did it. Do it.
Mayweather's
How
not
many
right, though.
times
He's
have
not the
you?
hero.
How many
Chris-
times have you purchased a Mayweather fight to see him lose? Be honest with me. This is for everybody.
Never, because I knew he was never gonna lose.
The Pacquiao fight, and then he just like kind of.
I never thought he was gonna lose.
Garbage.
I never thought he was gonna lose.
So now that we've seen the fight, I asked the question I asked last time: does this hurt his legacy and reputation? I think it does.
No.
It might
I
hurt his
think it's slightly-
credibility
Not-
in the boxing world, but
Not legacy in the sense that it'll take away from everything, but I mean it.
He's
I don't
had
know.
plenty
It's
of
just
garbage fights. and
It's
very
one of those things that
questionable
just
ones.
kind of looking at it, you're like, why? It was almost like you almost had like such a great report card, and then you just had that one little bleep where you're just like, why would you do this?
You know what? Is that it doesn't do anything because I know he could have knocked that nigga out. So it's not like his talent.
Doesn't
is
that make it
still-
worse?
Again, are we talking credibility or talent wise?
Exactly.
No,
'cause
his credibility.
Credibility,
It's
yeah.
just-
Talent-
That makes it
Yeah,
worse.
no.
We know we can do
Yeah.
better. He's just specifically prolonging.
Talent-wise,
Yeah.
he's one of the best, but he's just like a scammer, bro. That's what happens when you make a scammer
Con
and give him all
man.
the skills. And
He's about his money.
and only about that. But at
Money
least doesn't give a
Mayweather.
fucking show,
That's
bro.
what he's about.
Not even half a show. Nothing. Just some whatever.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of me wants to sit here and say like, no, but the purity and the love of the sport, blah 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 blah. The other part of me is like, man, he knows how to make his money. Fucking make the money.
Finesse.
Make the money. He doesn't owe us shit, really. Make your money. He's not hurting nobody.
It's not that he's not hurting.
I know. I'm
It's
just
the
I'm being devil's
culture of the
advocate.
sport that bothers me. You know, he's destroying the culture. I understand that America has the capability to rectify these mistakes, but whatever, we won't.
I
So
just hope the day never comes where MMA, in particular, like the UFC,
Oh, it's
start doing
coming.
stupid shit like
yeah,
that.
But then you guys had
don't be
mentioned
doing
that
that
this
dumb shit.
is killing boxing because of
Yeah.
all the journeymen that they have to go through so much training, so many fights, and they'll never get a shot at that.
yes.
But the other cards that were in that fight, they were massive
There
to
were other
watch,
good cards,
and that's why I was
right?
thinking about MMA because I think Francis Ngannou he tweeted that as like, wow, Logan Paul was there for 24 minutes and he made like 10 times what I'll make in a fight. It's like, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
What is
What
MMA
are you
doing
doing?
wrong?
it's
We're
also-
working here so
Well,
hard.
it's a lot of things. It's one, Logan Paul brings in more attention than any of these dudes bring in.
That's
by
exactly
a
what it
lot.
is. They're showing that it's not about talent,
But it's not just that.
it's about popularity. It's
No,
becoming
okay,
a popularity
absolutely,
contest.
because that brings in the pay-per-views. However, the cut in which these UFC fighters are getting from the pay-per-view is nothing similar to what these guys are getting, right?
Boxing, yeah.
So like most organizations, they'll get like a 40-50% cut. Same thing with boxing, basketball, and right, the NBA and the NFL in particular, right? Like 50% of the profits go towards the player, something like that, right? And of course they pay their agents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in the UFC, it's something like 15 to 18% of the profits.
That's
go
why
to the fighter,
McGregor
which
and
is
Dana White were beefing,
bad,
bro.
bro.
McGregor and Dana White were beefing bad because
McGregor and Dana White.
yeah, not recently.
Or most fighters in general.
Most fighters
They
actually
had a
beef with him about
contractual, yeah,
that.
but McGregor was the only one that because he was basically refusing the fight because of his extreme popularity in the sport at the time, which he still retains.
That's why he retires like once a year.
Right, because he knows that he can make and break the ratings on this fucking division. You know that he fights.
Absolutely.
So he was holding the division hostage. Like, you don't pay me my fucking money because I'm not a sucker like these other niggas, or you can lose the ratings. Guess what? They paid that motherfucker his motherfucker.
Yeah, they're not
money.
about to lose their money. Shit.
John Jones trained that right now, but he's been gone for so long that he doesn't have the same leverage that he did before.
He does not.
However, speaking of losing money,
We'll see.
that goes perfectly to what we were going to discuss. So, expensive divorces.
I got that like right the second before you.
I noticed for a second he was like, I'm confused. Then he's like, wait a minute. Light bulb.
Ding ding. All right, so expensive fucking divorces, bro.
So we got. You go.
You want to go? No, go.
I was gonna say we got the obvious examples, right? We got Bill Gates, right? We got Jeff Bezos, multi-million-dollar divorces. By the way, billion. Sorry. By the way, they did confirm. Apparently, he was cheating with someone at Microsoft. That's why they divorced. So that little fucking email they sent out, that little diplomatic shit. If we have chosen together to make this decision for the betterment of us, and all that bullshit.
You know what it is? Is that a lot of people
Garbage.
were like, "Oh, this nigga for sure cheated," you know, whatever, on Instagram. And there were a lot of people in the comments, you know, mostly female, that were like, "Why do you assume it's about cheating?" You know, I feel like it could be a lot of things. It could have just drifted apart, you know.
Money changes things.
You know, it doesn't have to. You guys have no proof, blah blah blah. And then like the next day, it's like turns out he was dicking down like 6 of his secretaries, whatever the fuck the case was.
The oldest one being 25.
Boy, I tell you, this is so predictable. And Bill Gates was opening the gates to somebody, to somebody's pussy the whole time.
I mean, when you got all the money in the world and then your wife
money
is
opens
tired
a lot of
you, you're
doors.
tired of her.
Money opens a lot of doors.
Damn.
This makes sense. You know, it explains a lot. It explains why
Not surprising.
Microsoft as a brand has been inferior because
Why
instead
it's
of
garbage because he's too busy fucking
he's too
interns
busy smashing
to come up with a good
interns
update.
to fix the issues with the software. This is why I traded in my Xbox One. Thank you, Bill Gates,
Fuck
for
you
focusing
that,
on
by
your
the way.
dick more than the importance of your software. I hope. I don't even know. Whatever. Integrity. Integrity is what it comes down to. But
I'll never forget the fact that I had to buy a garbage ass Xbox One because of you. You made me
wanted
give
both.
Microsoft my money.
I wanted-
How fucking
I
actually that's a
wanted-
good point. You were bitching about giving Mayweather money you didn't even give. I actually gave money to Microsoft.
why are you whining about the $200 you spent? Like
He's like,
6
that was
years
the
ago?
You know why? Remember
He bought it when it
past
was
the
new.
past.
So
He's acting like
remember-
it was yesterday.
Remember when Xbox One and PS4 came out? It was like the big thing. Is like which one are you gonna get? And it was
Yeah,
like a
I
fu-
got the Xbox One.
I remember, right? He was like, "Oh, so Andres, we obviously got to get the same system so we can fucking play the same game,
Why are we talking about
right?"
so you're making me vaguely suicidal right
All right, never mind. Continue.
No, I wanted to hear this.
No, fuck
It's
this.
like he ruined it already.
It's putting you in
He ruined it
pain.
already. Just go.
I guess the audience will never know.
All right, anyway, Bill Gates.
Okay.
So fucking Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and even Elon Musk. Elon Musk had a wife, a primary wife, which he had his kids with, his main family, and then he divorced her. And then there was an actress that he got with twice and paid her a sum of money, both divorces. You think that nigga would learn his lesson, but whatever. So
I mean, when your money stacks up faster than the divorce money, then
I guess, yeah,
Right,
right,
it's just
whatever.
like a game
You
too.
can't count it at this point. So it's like,
whatever.
how much money I lose? I don't know. Not a number I can count. Doesn't matter. So whatever. Like what's interesting is this about this conversation. So a lot of people on the internet were like, you can't make women happy ever. You can be rich as fuck. You can
remember
be
that, yeah.
loyal, whatever. It doesn't matter. And you can rule the world. They will still divorce you. Now, obviously, later he came out, you know, one of them were unfaithful, and I'm sure there were other issues in there. But one of the primary issues with divorced couples or divorcing couples is finances, right? Statistically speaking. So I just thought it was interesting to bring that up as a topic. Like, motherfuckers will really get fucked over, right? Get rich, whatever, but not be able to find that secret ingredient that keeps motherfuckers together.
Yeah,
I mean, what is the solution to keeping a relationship together, especially one that's lasted so long? Maybe has gone through up and downs.
You would think
1,000
like
times.
some of our parents like have fucked up relationships and wanted to get divorced so many times, especially in like
They still
Latino
choose
and
not
black
to.
families. Yeah, for the kids, and they're just like because of the church and because they're Christian, they just stay together. You know, it's like fuck it, we've been together this long, we might as well just die together. You know, and they just ride with it. But that's not the case with some of these other couples. I think it's weird to fucking start your life over at fucking 55. You know, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna start dating again.
that's why a lot of them just stay together and don't even bother getting divorced.
yeah, and they just fuck people on the side, right?
Yeah, but you think that's the solution?
No, I know the solution. I'm just
I'd
stating
rather
the
start
facts.
over if it's really there's just nothing to fix, right? Than just stay in a miserable marriage where you both hate each other.
You know what it is? I think some of
Essentially.
them fucking get together young, right? I imagine, and they wanted things at that point, but they were so different, and they just grow apart, I guess, or they realize that they got into it for the wrong reasons,
And then they get kids because they think it's gonna solve it.
and it doesn't.
To make it worse.
So they're just they're digging this fucking hole and burying themselves in it as they go along. And so one day they just fucking give up, and they're like, you know what? We should have done this. This is what happens when it's like being in a stock. You buy into it, and you're down.
And it's going down.
And it's going
bad.
down. You just fucking try to rebuy to
Turn
lower your
everything into
average,
stars,
and it
bro.
keeps falling. They tried to buy the dip.
Neo, yeah.
They tried to buy the dip with their kids.
The pre-dip.
Yeah. And then they just fucking sold out at a heavy loss. 25
25
years.
years. That's a big loss.
And
Motherfucker.
you're still holding hard, and then eventually you're just like,
It'll turn around
Sold.
one day.
That's me with fucking Neo right now. I'm diamond handing it, baby. I won't let that
Good
shit
luck with that.
go. But that shit's fucking interesting. I want to give a special shout out to my nigga. I wasn't a fan of him until now. Jay Cutler.
oh yeah.
You are a fucking hero, sir. Is this the camera I'm supposed to look at? You. Yes, you, Jay. I appreciate you.
I bought a jersey already.
City boys up.
Apple, you just Apple Pay that motherfucker. We're gonna actually put one up on our wall. Jay Cutler, right, is actually going through a divorce with his wife, right? The divorce was relatively amicable, right, until he demanded half of his wife's shit, right, in her company because she was trying to go after some of his assets. So City Boys up 1 to 3 now. We're on the board, boys. We're on the fucking board. Let's go.
Let's go.
Not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes wear capes. It drives me crazy. Jay Cutler could not throw an accurate pass in the NFL, but he is the first
But he's
one.
accurate off the field.
I'm saying,
Absolutely.
you motherfucker, bro. He spent most of his time in the NFL, right? Because he signed with the Dolphins at the end of his career when everybody knew this nigga was.
Well, this is when Tannehill got injured, and they needed a backup.
And they had a backup, right? But everybody knew that Jay Cutler had no gas left in the tank, right?
Nah.
And yet he managed to finesse the Dolphins front office into fucking signing him for another season after finessing the Chicago Bears for many years.
He finessed me as a fan. He got me hyped in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I thought you were
was
crazy as
like-
fuck. I remember that conversation. I remember that kind of your blind faith. Anyway, but I saw it was a finesse. He finessed Chicago Bears, and he finessed the Dolphins, and now he's finessing his wife out of her company. This nigga's a master finesser. Fucking amazing stuff, Jay. Now I'm a fan. After all these years that you're retired, I appreciate you, sir.
So why is Jay Cutler getting divorced?
Bruh, I actually looked that up. There's not a huge amount of info on it, but supposedly this nigga was having an affair, and I think it was supposed to, don't quote me on this, I think it was like his wife's homegirl or something, or like her acquaintance that he was supposedly smashing. That shit was fucking weird.
And I seen his wife. His wife's
She's pretty.
she look good.
She's good looking.
That must mean he into some freaky shit.
Yeah, because his wife, I guess his wife wasn't fucking doing
She
that
don't want to.
crazy shit.
She's not looking in the ass.
So, yeah, George. She's not into her freaky shit.
Then Ari Spears
bro,
made the same fucking joke. That's why all the black dudes going to white girls. Black girls don't look ass.
That could be, you know, I was actually I'm not gonna say any names, but I had some coworkers, right? I had some coworkers that I was fucking having a conversation about sex with, and these niggas were like, "Yo, sex is not good unless you spit on each other," and I'm just like,
Hello.
"You mean like you tongue each other?" It's like, no, you literally take that bitch by the face and you spit in her mouth, and she spits in your mouth, and I'm just like, y'all niggas need Jesus.
You should play this segment at work and see who shifts uncomfortably, and that'll answer a lot of questions.
And
No,
they're like,
ain't no shit. Then they know they like to spit on each other, and they're like, Chris, you're
wait,
boring because you don't like to
wait.
spit on me.
This is more than one coworker.
Yeah. There's several.
Is this a Cutler thing?
A color thing.
I'm from Cutler, so I don't like to spit.
That doesn't mean everybody in Cutler does, but I mean, when
Well,
there's a
is
lot
it-
of them in one place.
It's not a lot.
They're not all from
like
Cutler,
a couple.
though.
It was like 40
Was that a
associates.
question on the application?
3 or 4. There's like 4 associates that like are down to spit on each other like all the time.
Together?
Yes, like I guess they chew gum.
That's how they shake hands.
together. I didn't even fucking finish.
He said together. I'm like, wait a
I
minute.
just kept talking over it.
They round up in like a circle, or they hold hands and just spit on each other.
Is it?
Every time they make a sale, yo, high five, boom.
Ew, I always thought that was weird. Even as
That
like, a
is weird.
handshake.
Even as a kid, you see it in cartoons, you're like, and I'm like, why would you?
To be honest, not really into the whole spitting thing. I always thought it was fucking.
Yeah, there's nothing really sexy about it.
But anyway, yeah. So going back to weird shit in bed, right? So we started digging a little bit, and we at the program here we found this map, and this map is it's a map of the U.S. and it's showing what the most Googled fetishes in each of these states. So we wrote down a few that we felt like are interesting. For example, fun fact: Alaska's most Googled fetish is fisting. I don't know why that stuck out to me. It's not that the fisting itself is odd, which it is.
It's that it's Alaska.
It's that it's Alaska.
They've got.
I'm not
nothing to
saying
do.
there's a specific state that I would associate with fisting, but Alaska.
Hold on. Isn't it true that they have like sunlight for only like 6 months and the other 6? Is it because it's dark there most of the time and they don't have to worry about their associates seeing them get fisted?
Something like that. I know the sun stays out for a while there, but yeah, maybe they're just miserable.
For half the year, they're like, okay, no one's looking. It's dark outside.
That's what it
So
is.
they're
just angry.
miserable.
Yeah.
How can we be more miserable? Well,
That's how they show
depressed.
their emotions, bro. They just gotta just push it in there.
God damn, Danny.
Anyway.
I'm mimicking the Alaskans, all right?
Okay.
I'm trying to defend you people,
You know,
right?
I just
No,
realized
you're not.
you people. What you mean, you people?
Oh, I'm sorry. All
What
2
you
of them
mean?
are watching right now. I'm sorry.
Those niggas don't have the internet. Anyway.
Is that why they do it? They don't have any porn? That might make sense.
That could be it.
You start doing crazier and crazier shit because you don't have any porn. That
Bro, we're literally looking at a chart on what they look up on the internet. What do you mean?
Maybe they use
but they're
like,
looking it up for a reason.
Hold
You're
on,
saying
hold
they
on.
don't have internet, but this is we're saying they
Wait,
look
wait, wait,
Oh, I
up.
just got where you're going with it.
It could be that they're ordering old like magazines, all right, and it's all fisting magazines, but it's not. The
There's
internet.
magazines
No,
just for
this-
fisting.
Fisting Weekly. You don't know Fisting
Fisting.
Weekly.
Weekly.
Hey, that shit's popular. And Cutler. Anyway.
But I thought fisting was hilarious. Yeah, there's another one I think is funny, right? So in Kansas as well as Mississippi.
Give me 1 second. I want to bring this up real quick.
Okay.
So when you mentioned Alaska liking fisting, my mom took me on my first cruise.
Can you take your hand off me before you talk about it?
My mom took me
Speaking
on
of fisting,
my mother took me on my first cruise, and I was so excited. But she took my ass to Alaska, which was not fun. And now I'm realizing my life was in danger the whole time. I didn't realize until all these years later. I want my mom to be sued for child endangerment. Me and her are gonna have to talk. But
is that why you're going to school for criminal law? so you
So you can handle the papers yourself?
yes, it's all a revenge story in the making.
That's gonna backfire because I don't feel like she's gonna know what that is. You're gonna have to explain it.
Yeah, well, I'll just hand her that map, and when she sees Alaska, then she'll put it together. But go on. I just want to say that.
But yeah, so apparently in Kansas, Mississippi, and Wisconsin, the most Googled one is sports gear. Now, I think that's a little sus. That's weird.
Sports gear.
That's fucking weird. I'm a very open-minded individual. I've never once thought the idea of a girl wearing, I don't know, like a football jersey was particularly hot. It's not unattractive,
I'm not gonna lie,
but I'm not
got-
getting off on it.
No, but it's not even that a person
Really?
wearing the jersey. It's just the jersey
I've
that
gotten
they're
turned
looking
on
up.
by girls in China.
Yeah. So where do you draw the line? Are you like the guy from Scary Movie 2 where you're like, all right, put on the pads. All right, I put on the
That
helmet.
was coming. Great. I should have just kept my mouth shut. This is why I don't share. This is why I don't share. They say it's a safe environment. It's not.
You never said it was safe.
Fair enough. Touche. Anyway, but no, sometimes having like your female dress in one of your jerseys is always too big for them. So it's like it kind of works as a skirt. It's kind of hot, It's not hot.
For me, right, my dress shirt, it has the same effect, and I think that looks better than a jersey. That's me.
Your dress shirt.
Yeah, like you ever seen a girl put on your dress shirt? It looks really big on it. I think that looks cuter, I guess, in the jersey, but that's just me. But even so, I don't think they're talking about. Maybe not talking about the jersey. I think they're talking about actual sports gear.
What, like shoulder pads?
Like we're gonna
hockey stick. And,
yeah, like if we're about
cleats
to
on,
fuck, get the
Cleats?
puck and get the fucking baseball glove, like weird shit.
Like baseball mitt?
You're about to catch it.
Too aggressive.
I don't know. Sports gear just isn't like all that crazy. One that I really found crazy was, bro, what's that shit? Or just weird. Armpits? Really? What the, you motherfuckers. Armpits being fucking Indiana. What's wrong with you guys?
Armpits. You know, I thought
I think they
armpits
mean-
was kind of weird.
I think
And
they mean
Nevada.
sniffing.
Sniffing
I think-
armpits?
Whatever
So-
you're doing
so-
with armpits.
Hold on. Pause the
that's
episode. Go right now. Look it up.
What do you mean? Look it up.
Go on, you know what I mean. Go on Pornhub.
I don't have to. I was about to go into that.
Oh, you already looked at it?
Like I was about to explain that.
Oh, please.
So you ever seen like okay, so we've all seen hentai at least out of curiosity, right? At least you've seen a video. You know how some of them have a point where it just gets weird, like hentai weird. You know that kind of weird I'm talking about.
Oh, dude.
That's when I've seen. Well, fuck, what was it we were just discussing? I drew a blank.
Armpits?
That's when they did that. That's when I was like, okay, this is a weird. Clip.
Wait. Hold up. In the cartoon, they were like,
Like
hold up.
like they
Give me that
lifted the
armpit.
arm and they sniffed the armpit.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen.
So
anything
if it's in the
approaching it.
cartoon, I'm sure there's an actual porn about it as well.
Okay.
But I'm not looking that up. I'm not brave enough.
You know what? That's okay. I have the private
right
button
now,
on
Chris.
browser. And then
The
shut.
private button on
But I guess
browser.
you're right here. Unless you write it when you wrote it.
I'm already
No, I don't think that's what you
going.
told me. I don't think
You're
putting
looking
the
up
chart.
armpit hole.
No. I looked up fisting. You have armpits.
Listen, I'm looking this up not for me, but for the viewers.
For a minute, Chacon was like, "Wait, word."
My
Oh, there we
armpit
go.
fetish.
That
Do you
first
like
video.
it? Fetish armpits compilation. This dude is jerking himself on her armpit. Wow, these girls are hairy.
Yeah, it's usually part of the thing. I think.
Wow,
Really?
so they
Hairy
like
girls?
hairy armpits, is what this is. Okay, now I understand. I thought it might be sniffing, but no, it's the hair that seems to be the primary attraction here.
Indiana, y'all are fucked up. But that one's really bad. But another really weird one is New Mexico with chastity belts. What the fuck?
That's odd. Isn't that
Like,
counterintuitive?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you want to get it, but you
Don't want to.
Right?
Maybe
What
it's
the
like
fuck's
wanting
happening?
things that you can't have. Is that what it
That's
is?
hot to
know.
know.
You know what'd be hot? Don't give it to me. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. But that's like having this desire of not getting money because you want to be rich, but at the
so
same time
bad.
you don't want what you
Is that-
want, so don't get paid.
Is that kind of rapey? Is that kind of rapey that you're like?
Technically,
You guys
no.
gotta
It would be
think
the
too much.
opposite of rapey because you're protecting yourself. Like you literally can't get in.
If
Well,
they're,
it depends on the premise
out.
of the actual.
what state is this?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. If there's anybody from New Mexico watching that can explain this in the comments, or dial us on our phone number here at 1-800-program. Please call into
It's
the
not a real
show.
There's gonna be that one person that's like, actually, I'm glad you asked. They're gonna go into the history of this fetish.
It all started in the medieval era. And it's fucking bullshit. I mean,
But yeah,
but
that shit was weird.
going back to armpits, right? Real quick, right? There has to be some sort of societal function that promoted that sexual inclination. Do these niggas not have? Is there like a razor shortage in that?
But
bitch?
now, no, but that's a different question. Now you're asking if fetishes are born from a societal thing. I thought it'd be more individualistic than that. It just so happens that there's only so many fetishes you can have. Therefore, you're gonna have like-minded people.
But if that's the case, why are they all focused in certain areas? It has to be cultural. Because
I just said that. There's only so many fetishes in the planet on the planet. So at a certain, of course, and there's billions of us. Of course, you're gonna find like-minded individuals. You're not gonna be the only armpit sniffer in the
Yeah,
planet.
and for all we know, by the way, the list that we're looking at, Chris, you have to understand that's just showing the most viewed. You know, the second most viewed could be almost just as much. Same thing with the
I
third.
guess, but
It's
like they're
just-
gonna be more
that's
common
weird.
ones, right? Like, because these are rarer fetishes. It's very rare for you to run into someone who has a particular armpit fetish. For them to have congregated enough in Indiana for that to become their number one over something like, I don't know, missionary.
Maybe that's why they congregated there.
That's odd to me.
Maybe it's a society where they all want, like somehow found out they're all each into that same fetish, and they just made a community together over there.
I don't know, dog. Like black girls,
Like you ever seen The Village? It'd be
big
The
booty
Village.
girls, big tits. These are the regular fetishes, right?
Yes.
That armpit rolls to the top of the toilet bowl there. That's concerning, but you know, whatever. I think the president should look into that one. Joe Biden, do your job.
I mean, you don't got any that you thought were weird?
You won't remember.
Nah, we got a
everything.
few. I got one that was
yours?
weird. That was interesting. I had to look it up. So Bama, their top one is a yoni egg. So
A
I
what?
was whatever yoni egg is, I had to look it up. Apparently,
It's
it's
bad.
it's these crystal
weird.
stones that women stick in their ovaries.
They're way in their ovaries.
In their ovaries, they stick them in there.
Not in the
And-
vagina.
I thought it was just a vagina.
In the ovary. How
Okay, no, yeah, you're right. It is in the
Okay.
vagina.
Those are big.
It is in the vagina.
My nigga
fault.
forgot the word for vagina.
No, I was trying to be more broad. I wasn't trying to be
What
specific.
about that? That's very specific.
Whatever.
Either way, yes. I knew what you meant. In the
You know what I
vagina.
mean.
And we're not gonna edit that.
No,
Don't
whatever.
even ask.
I'll be the dumbass here.
I'm
But
like, yo, that shit reaches far.
I could be wrong. I could be right. Whatever the case is, they stick them in there, and there's these crystal stones that apparently you had to clean them, and they charge them outside, like in the hot sun, for hours.
It
and
collects
hours.
energies.
Yeah, basically, it
You mean it just gets hot?
Did I hear that right?
the
Yeah.
whole purpose of it is supposed to like balance your hormones.
Oh, I
It-
thought you were about to say your chakras. I'm about
No,
to
that's
lose
you.
it.
No, it literally supposedly gives the good energy to you and absorbs your bad.
No, it's not happening. These bitches that are so into their horoscope have lost their mind. Drop the crystal right now, Rachel. Right now. Don't you dare put it in your vagina. I swear to God, I'll break up there. Don't even start.
And the other ones were, I mean, I don't want to take yours. And then the other, Pennsylvania had balloons. I'm like, okay,
What do you do with the balloons?
what don't you do with the balloons?
We
Like, you can mimic it.
Did you look it up?
Like
I didn't look it up. I just thought it was interesting.
Did you look?
I don't want to explain what it is. Why am I explaining all of this?
Because you're the
no.
expert.
Don't put that on the internet. Or editing that out. Don't you put that on the internet? I'm the expert.
What do you
Look at him
mean?
saying
Come
we're
on,
gonna edit
are we not honest? We're supposed to be honest here. Come on, be honest with our audience. He knows. Come on.
Balloons. You mean like at kids' birthday parties and shit? I don't know.
What?
Like at kids' birthday parties? I don't know. What do you do with that?
No, shut up, bro. Come on, man. I'm trying to know for real.
All right, so a balloon, right? It starts off. It looks like a regular disinflated balloon, and then it's connected to one of those pumps for the blood pressure. And so the point of it is you put it in the girl's vagina and you start pumping it and it expands. And so obviously the girl's like, okay, that's good. So the point is the expansion, like the pressure is what's supposed to feel good for the woman.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that kind of like the thing they fucking use to like measure blood pressure?
Then I just
I don't be hearing you. Sometimes.
I know you don't. That's what fucking angers me.
It's funny as I'm not fucking playing with y'all. I really didn't hear this nigga say that shit.
You really are just like Jenny.
Fucking useless.
I hear like every other word he says anyway. But that's just interesting. So they put like a little balloon in their vagina. You know, at a certain point, you gotta just say like, are niggas doing the job anymore? They're coming up with more and more contraptions. What the fuck? Why do they have the NASA?
I mean, there's also some shit that
Budget.
we can't do. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I can't inflate my dick like a balloon.
We can't vibrate on command.
Oh, you can't?
What are you, Luffy?
Yo. That's why that series is so long. Hell nah. There's a couple that I actually saw some too. Okay, so the one that I want to talk about first was cuckolding. I don't even know what state had it. What state had cuckolding?
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Y'all are a bunch of pussies.
See, I will say this. That doesn't sound crazy surprising because I mean, I feel like whenever you go on a porn site, like half of the fucking videos are like that genre.
I see them and I'm always surprised. I'm always shocked because I'm never like, you know what it is? Because I think the cuckolding is supposed to be right from the aspect of the one watching, right? You want to watch your girl get smashed, right?
Yeah, which is strange.
Which is strange. I mean, I guess some people imagine they're the smasher, which is still weird.
I thought it was
a nigga watch you.
I thought it was less that and more of a surrendering control thing. Like they just want to be like an ultimate sim because some people get off on being a super beta.
That's
so
what
what's
I'm
more
saying.
beta than just watching your girl get plowed in front of you?
That's weird. No,
No, I know it's weird. I didn't say it wasn't weird. But you're asking the question.
Isn't the whole kink kind of weird?
And the whole kink is kind of weird.
Very.
Because it's weird on both ends. And I was having this coworker. I was talking about this with my coworker the other day. I'm like, I think cuckolding is weird, right? He likes spit again, right? So he's on a 10 as far as that freak shit goes, right? And he's like, nah, I mean, like smashing a bitch while her man watches. Now that's extra gangster. I'm like, that's low key.
That's weird.
That's low key gay to me that you are down to having niggas watch you fuck. Like he's jerking his shit, looking at you. Like he's looking at you, right? He's not just looking at her.
That's weird. I can't fucking do that.
That's odd to me. I can't be hot with that. It's It's weird.
Bro, and then you see in some of those videos, like if you're like you're like, okay, let me see what's up, let me try it, and then you watch it, and then they'll start like insulting the dude,
Yeah.
and that's when I'm like,
really?
how do you, yeah, like they'll insult him, like, oh, he's much bigger, oh, he's so much better. I'm just like, and the guy's like, yeah, he is, isn't he? Like he's getting off on this, and I'm just like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
You know
people?
how I know it's low key gay? Because at the end of a lot of these videos, the dude smashing his girl will bust in her, right? And sometimes they'll have the simp nigga eat her out after. So that whole it's not gay thing, like that you can't from both aspects. You can't tell me, even for the guy that was smashing, you literally
gay.
have another dude swallowing your kids. I don't care what the situation is. That's gay. It's gay.
All right, I got a side tangent. Just so hypothetically, right? A couple that let's say the guy admits he has a thing for that, and the girl's like, "Oh, I'm about it. I'm open to that idea if you want to do it, right?" And they start doing that. Would you argue that they're not really in love? Because I don't know. I can't. Like, I'm being serious. No,
I just feel like there's a romance gone.
But let me explain, right? Because a lot of these kinks, they could be done between a man and woman, and it's not really that big of a deal. This is one specifically where it's like, oh, I have a thing of watching you get fucked by another dude. The girl's like, that's kind of hot. I would love to get fucked by another dude. I don't know. Do you get
And
what
she
I'm trying to
likes
ask
to
you?
humiliate
Yeah, you
him.
get what, that's why I'm like,
some
is that
borderline sadistic shit to this.
yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know. That's weird to me.
At least from the person performing it.
So we're gonna talk about this more later, but I'm gonna bring up later when we get into this topic how love can sometimes become possession. Right?
We are gonna bring that up. Yeah,
and it's more toxic extremes, right? And this is one of those times where obsession, right? Like fucking obsessed with Beyonce, that movie, where they want to possess people, right? In their obsession, and people confuse that for love. And I think that's where this stems from. And it's odd to me, because I want to bring this up, that again, in North Dakota, this very particular area, this is a thing, which makes me feel like if I travel to North Dakota, I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to be offering me weird shit, which I'm not going to be inclined to accept.
Why the fuck are you going to North Dakota to begin with?
I don't, what cities are in North Dakota? Geographically speaking?
Get the fuck out, Bill. I don't know.
Get the fuck out. That's an ironic name.
It's North Dakota. What the fuck is there to do?
I don't know. Maybe I want to go skiing. It's snowy up there, right?
I think the only thing you can do in North
you go
Dakota
Colorado.
is go for a cuckolding adventure. Like, it's literally all you can do.
Is there a brochure? You found that in Cuckolding Weekly? Anyway, but that was one of them, right? The other one was used underwear. And I don't even know what's
There was two of them. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
There's two for used underwear?
Yeah.
They touched on that a little bit in Orange is the New Black.
One is Missouri and the other one is Oregon.
Missouri?
Florida showing piercings?
Yeah.
I like piercings on the chick, so I guess that's not weird.
super.
Depends on
I was
the level.
surprised where Florida was at with piercings. I'm like, that is like the least odd one.
I was
there.
expecting something freakier. Yeah.
Well, like
all right.
alligators on the background? Well,
I don't know, man. In the same one that has shit like fucking like cuckolding and sounding.
what's
Oh, I'm waiting. Oh, you'll see.
Texas got
This is the
whipping.
worst one.
Texas got whipping. But used underwear was a little weird just because, like, Japan,
Japan? That's very
is, they
Japanese.
literally have vending
machines.
machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deal out used underwear. Right?
You know, Japan does so much sus shit, but because they make it systematic, you're like, oh, they thought about it logically. It's okay.
You know what? They just normalized everything.
Yeah, it's weird.
At what point who's gonna stop them?
Tentacle shit, you know, like,
know what I
didn't
mean?
that come from them?
Like, can you imagine that if we all travel to Japan and we see a dude buying used underwear from that vending machine and we're looking at him like, oh, he's fucking crazy? We're the weird ones.
Yeah.
They're looking at us like, why is it such a big deal? He wanted one.
I've never been to Japan. Do they have these motherfuckers vacuum sealed so that when you open that motherfucker, you just
So
fresh out the box? Like
every
what the
seal has a
fuck?
different smell.
Is it like a scratch and sniff, motherfucker? That shit's weird, dog.
And it was used, but they never said by who's. It's just a bunch of sweaty dudes at
Bunch
a
of grown
sweatshop.
niggas fucking working out in these shits and then put
It
stuff
tells
in
you the
them
activity
bag.
that this used underwear was last used.
Yo,
in.
I can't.
So when it's like a fucking,
a fat boy.
it's like a time capsule. Like you can see who's had it, where it's been.
Ooh, 1967.
That's so fucked.
That shit ain't right, bro. Some of these
It ain't
Like
right.
when you open up a bag of weed, right, and you're like, and you get that whiff of it, you're like, yeah, some dank
That's an
shit.
indica. That's an
That's-
indica. When I
Baseball
was-
practice.
It's just such a weird fucking fetish. I don't understand the
that's
smell
fetish.
fetishes. Smell fetishes, I don't
weird.
get.
I remember when I was a
unless it
jit.
smells nice, like lavender, some shit.
When I was a jit, I used to like to go into Publix with my moms. For all of y'all some of y'all don't live in Florida, Publix is a supermarket. I used to have those vending machines. I used to sell the Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards, whatever. And I begged my mom, "Mommy, please, please get me this fucking card pack, whatever."
I'll do the same shit.
Right, and she get it for me, and I even love the smell of the cards. When I open, is that what it's like? They used to they collect these panties.
and they just wait to see like what's inside. You know.
I thought you were taking a much crazier, darker turn with that.
You have to say it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
But I'm thinking that like, oh, this one's holographic. It's rare. Like
This
what
one
the
has a
fuck?
stain. This one doesn't.
She was on her period with this one.
You were saying, oh, when I was a little kid, I would go up and I would ask for the Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the vending machine. I thought you were gonna say, does that mean there are kids in Japan? They're like, Daddy, I don't have a red one.
They gotta have cards over there.
Daddy, what is this one have a hair in it?
God.
I hope the cards and the panties aren't in the same vending machine.
Yeah, like how there's card collectors. Like there's card collectors, shoe collectors, and there's used underwear collectors.
I'd be upset as fuck. You try to put in C7 and you're thinking you're gonna get some cards and you got some panties. Like I put in the wrong.
Yo,
fucking
what a
number.
red flag. Could you imagine you met someone, they're like, oh, what do you collect? I'm like, oh, I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What about you? I collect used underwear.
I'm like,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Bye.
Yeah. That shit is fucking.
Do you want to
weird.
see?
it's like, oh, you got. I got all of 1970, bro. Which ones you got?
Oh, I think so.
Spring of 1970 collection.
Well, how old is
Bro, I got the Roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s.
This one's called Betty White.
Well, that's a very specific fragrance, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Wow. Anyway, that one.
What a
kinda-
fucking turn this took.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna be made uncomfortable by anything we could say on the show. That one made me a little.
We're just testing the waters, baby.
All right, so
we can go
unless you
lower.
got another one, I got one that I think is definitively the worst one.
Which one?
Oh, your shit. Go.
Yeah, unless you got another one you want to say.
No.
All right, so
Go stay quiet.
I think the worst one, right? The guilty party is New Hampshire. All right, now New Hampshire, apparently the most Googled fetish is sounding. Sounding is a really fancy way of saying shoving things up your dick hole. You heard that correctly. Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Up your urethra.
Yep. So like little objects, something that, like thin that'll work, and then some of them try to apparently expand a little bit.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the balloon shit you were talking about.
Sort of. They just like to
fucked.
test their
Or
limits.
those
Yes.
niggas with gauges in their earrings.
Are you saying the dick fucks the gauge? What are you saying?
No, you know how the gauge.
You know how they try to expand the hole?
Oh, kind of, sort of, yes.
These are
Okay.
double zero.
They got double zeros in their dick hole.
No, and you know, when and that whole
Wait, how do you
culture-
control your piss if you do shit like that? Like, can you imagine that?
It's just
so
like
wide open.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not
Second, the bladder has to just
you're not leaving anything in.
I think it's like
just-
spilling a drink. It's just
It's
So the second you get up, it's just fuck.
you ever put your finger on top of the hose when it's running like that?
this is horrendous. The show so out of pocket.
Episode 4 is horrible.
That would be convenient if you had to pee it at like 3 a.m. You're not trying to stay there all day. It's just one right there.
George's face.
That could be it, son. It's gonna be no.
If Daddy's like these niggas are on something, they
It's
might
like, you
have
know
something.
what? New Hampshire's got something going on for them right now.
No, you don't, bro. It's gonna be 3 a.m. You're gonna be asleep, so that means you have no control. That means
True,
you're-
you can't
So
hold it in
sometimes
now.
you gotta pee. If you gotta pee, you gotta pee. You're gonna go, but you're like dead
Yeah, you're gonna go
asleep.
exactly.
But you're like standing there. You're taking a regular piss. If you're doing that, if you're sounding all the time, it's just real quick.
But at what
That's it.
point do you wake up when you
Also,
have
why
no control over?
Why are you guys so stuck on the fact that you leave something in your dick? You don't leave it in there.
Listen,
no.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it stays like that. Like how he brought up the gauges, and your fucking pee hole just stays that big
No,
forever.
I'm saying. Yeah, what if it, like,
It's-
stays
it would
like-
be kind of like foreplay.
That's foreplay. That's the end of the game for me. Are you kidding? That's a 4 to 6. What the fuck do you do for sex over there? What?
I'm not being realistic in what I'm saying.
we-
I'm talking out of my ass.
With all the fetishes we mentioned, like, yes, this is foreplay. I feel like
Why
there's
is this-
still other shit you can do.
Okay, here's my question. Why is it called sounding?
Because it sounds
Because
pretty
the
good
sound
to
of
them.
war
You know what's
and
crazy?
pain
I
that
did
you
not.
hear.
I did not. I didn't look it up. I didn't.
Why is it called sounding? Is it because the sound
sound
you
of the
hear is
screams,
very
yeah.
it has to be
The
right.
sound of the screams.
The sounds of terror as men are fucking forced into this shit. That means there's got to be women in there that are like into that too.
Did I
right?
know? Trust me, you like this. Are you sure? Yeah. If you do this, I'll go on a date with you. That's some fucked up shit.
Wow, we've reached that point. At that point,
Ultra
bro.
Sims.
Yeah, that's it's.
Bro, I don't understand how they do
Horrifying.
that shit. So
Sound.
so we're getting older, right? As we get older, there are more tests we got to do with the doctor and shit, right? So one day,
Stop.
right? What?
No, I'm waiting.
Let him speak.
Oh,
I think you're about to say some crazy.
yeah. So one day, right? So he knows about this. One day, they thought I had kidney stones, right? So they thought I had kidney stones, but they couldn't find anything with the ultrasound. They did ultrasound, they did MRI, like nothing worked. They're like, but I kept having the same pain. They're like, oh, we don't know what it is. We have only one thing left we can do. We need to get a camera, and it needs to go up your urethra. And I was like, come again? And he's like, it has to go exactly where you're thinking. And I'm like, all right, maybe it won't be that bad. He's like, it's gonna be that bad.
This doctor sucks.
No, he really did. He was a dick,
He has no bedside manner.
bro. And you know, it gets
Just
funny.
a little bit. No,
It gets funnier. I'm like, all right, you're being blunt. Okay, I guess I appreciate that. I'm like, so it's gonna hurt. He's like, it's gonna hurt a lot. So whatever. So they prep all the shit they got to do, right? And when he did that, he said, first I felt uncomfortable. Then he said, you're gonna feel a sharp pain. When I fucking tell you that I screamed in the middle of his doctor office, I had tears come out of my fucking eyes. And I looked, bro, I felt like a pregnant woman. I looked at him like, you lied. This hurts more. I was so fucking angry.
I said it was gonna hurt a lot. You didn't say it was gonna kill me.
And he even looked at me. He gave me a face like, pussy.
This doctor's from
I do
New
this-
Hampshire for sure.
Yo, straight out New Hampshire. He does it every Sunday.
Bro, and what's crazy, that was like, I think 15 seconds, and it felt like an eternity. These people do it for
15 seconds is
pleasure.
a lot.
Bro, that shit hurt.
Yo,
That's crazy.
I don't want to get.
And
in
I
a
had
fight.
a numbing agent. These people was just fucking go for it.
I ain't trying to get in a fight with no nigga from New Hampshire, bro. If these
He's
niggas
prepared
do
for
that
pain.
for fun, yo, I have no shot, nigga.
There's nothing you could do that'll phase him.
What am I supposed to do to
Nothing.
him?
Break his nose, he'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'll punch you in the dick. Promise.
All right, bro, you got it.
It's like, take me out to dinner first.
Yo,
You know what? It's a weird method, but it's effective. You're not fighting them no
I'm
more.
scared. I'm actually scared of these people now. Why don't we just send these niggas off to the Middle East to fight, bro? We would have wrapped this fucking fight up in a week. These niggas are tough.
So speaking of weird fetishes, right? Aside from sounding and all this other weird shit, so there's another one that I think is, how do I word this? Psychologically disturbing. I think so. Puppy play. So I've told you guys a little bit about it.
It's fucked.
It's fucked. So for those of you that don't know, so puppy play essentially it's a role play where one individual is acting as the owner and the other one acts as a puppy, and it's exactly how it sounds. The owner walks the puppy, puts the water bowls and food bowls down for this individual
Don't
acting
forget
as the
the
puppy.
leash.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
I'm getting there. The individual that plays the puppy in these two examples, it's both females. So in these examples, the females will actually bark and arf if told to. They'll sit still for treats. One of them even said that when they go for a walk, she encourages him to walk her the way she feels she should be walked, like a dog. And she only feels comfortable and natural when she has a leash around her neck.
Is this like? Does this count as like a really weird form of bestiality? And technically,
You know, that's what I was wondering.
That's what I asked. Is there some type of sexual drive that comes from thinking this person's a dog and an animal?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird, right?
it's mad.
No, exactly. And this is a tangent, but going off of what you said, I always thought the same thing about the school girl thing. Because I'm like, why am I supposed to be turned on by the fact that you're dressed by a girl? I never understood that fucking outfit.
By a girl?
Dressed as a girl,
Like
not
a
as
girl kid?
girl.
yeah,
Like
because
that
you're a
shit, yeah.
schoolgirl. I mean, a woman's not a fucking
Maybe
schoolgirl.
they're thinking college schoolgirl, but yeah.
Not
probably-
really.
No,
I
because
mean,
that's not what the fetish
Then
is.
maybe it's just people who
To be
are
honest,
like,
I thought it was hot when I was in middle school.
'Cause they were older to you
It
then.
kind of wore off. You know what it is?
Yeah.
We went to a fucking private school, and you know what? All of them were schoolgirls. So it makes sense that, you know,
Oh, yeah,
back
that's right,
then.
both of y'all
Yeah, we
did.
went to a Catholic school. So they were all little Catholic schoolgirls. And it was like, oh, wow, that's kind of hot.
I just think it's a little suspect. But tangent. Anyway, so yes, I agree.
As an adult, definitely is weird.
But yes, I agree completely. I would say it's so on the nose with bestiality. I know it's technically it's not another animal, but it's just so odd. Like you're
Borderline.
basically saying
borderline.
you're basically
that
saying
person is that animal.
right. You're basically saying I wish I could do the real thing. This is the closest I can get without being judged or sued.
Listen, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't want those people to own pets. I don't think they should be allowed. I think it's a risk. I think it's an actual risk. Like the same way we don't allow known predators to be within a certain mileage of like a school, these niggas should not be allowed within a certain mileage of a dog park. You don't know what might happen. These niggas might try to snatch your Rottweiler and take off with him.
It's just crazy. I can't imagine, like, how would y'all react if you're at the park and you just see like a dude walking a girl, leash, she's on all fours, she's got a collar, she's arfing, she's rolling over when he on command.
I did not know that puppy play was a thing before I entered this conversation. Now you got me thinking back, because I'm a dog owner myself. When I go to dog park a lot, sometimes I be seeing niggas in there, right, that don't have dogs.
I've seen that too. Isn't that odd?
Now
It's
I'm
so
sus.
weird.
Now I'm sus.
Maybe they
Why
just
are you
appreciate
here?
dogs.
Why are you appreciate? Huh?
I've always thought those
these
same
niggas don't
shit.
catch these hands next time. I know what you here for now, nigga. I've been put on game now.
I remember the first time I felt super protective about dogs. I remember I would take Patrick's dog and my dog to the park, and I would see dudes like that. I'm like, hold up, that dog's that person. That's that person. You don't got no one. Who are you eyeing?
Right?
Who are you trying to steal?
You don't do that at kids'
That's
parks. You don't
weird.
got kids. You don't show up at the kids'
Exactly.
park. You stay your ass at home, right? So why are you here at the
Mister,
dog
why
park?
are you here? Just watching.
It's like, all right, Paula, we're going home.
You look in his trunk. He's got duct tape, fucking
He's
rope.
picking
Nah.
victims.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
But no, bro, it's insane. Like I can't imagine fucking seeing that. And this girl's actually saying she's more comfortable on the leash than anything else.
That's broken, and that leads me into Stockholm syndrome. Quite nicely, neatly, how that worked out, isn't it?
So sorry. Before you go into that, because I just gotta throw this in there, right? So I did a little research into public play, like a little bit, just for the podcast, and I ended up finding that there was a study done on this, right?
Hold on. A study by who? What university?
It was some fucking UK firm in over there.
Get the motherfucker out of here.
So they did a study on this, right? So they did a study on this. Now, mind you, the findings I don't really feel were too important because it was just very simple. It's like we just found that the majority of people participating in this are between 18 and 40, and they're all men, typically gay or cisgendered, or gay or identified cisgendered.
Cisgender?
Cisgendered, that's I want to say that's neither. There's so many genders. I forget to be really real with you. That's not the point of this.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
not the point. The point is that evidently there is a community of puppy play individuals that all support each other, like a forum kind of thing.
Okay.
So similar how there's like New Hampshire has like sounding, and they all have like little sounding conventions. There's puppy play conventions. So in what?
There's a movie that I saw that you reminded me of where like a regular comedy, but it's a real thing in real life where they all dress up like as animals. I think it's furries. They're called furries.
Yes,
And
that's a
then
thing.
it's like parties and they all smash while they're in these suits.
Yeah.
I forgot
Weird
about
too.
those. That's actually
There's-
even more bestiality. Like,
Yeah.
you're wearing like a rabbit suit, and then just
There's a
weird.
fucking dude. I think I saw it on Instagram. Like Hood Ratchet posted about it. There's some dude I think in the Netherlands that he made a pretty what's that little pony show? My Pretty Pony.
Sure.
Pretty Little Pony. You know what I'm talking about? He made one of those,
My
but it's
Little
a
Pony.
that's what it is. Thank you. So it's one of those My Little Pony characters, but it's a giant fucking doll, and it has an actual like pocket pussy like sewed into it. Like it's a fuckable My Little Pony.
Illegal. I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. I am so.
I think there should be limits on what we allow in this day and age. I understand accepting everybody.
I
Fuck
know.
that noise.
But
There's
at
certain
a certain
things.
point, I'm an American. I believe in innocent before guilty. But at what point do we have to start arresting people preemptively? If I see that nigga in your crib, you're gonna catch a case.
Like that's fucking odd.
I have to arrest. I know you're gonna commit a crime, Doug. You're for sure. You're gonna attack somebody. You're not well. You're not well. You're not well. You need help.
future school shooter type shit.
Yeah. Something's wrong with him. I remember.
That's fucking weird. He's getting hard for an inanimate cartoon
Pink unicorn.
pink unicorn.
Yeah. Nah, son. Not in my hood. Arrested. So
That's
whatever.
fucking weird. But anyway, so there's a community of puppy play enthusiasts, right? Wow. So in this community, the funny thing is that there are certain activists and certain individuals that play key roles. Two of these individuals, right, or the examples I'm thinking of, are authors. One of them has written a book that explains the origins, practices, and the different distinctions among the puppy play community, because it's not as simple as saying they're all puppy play enthusiasts. They're apparently subgroups. The name of this holy book that defined their entire community, Bark by Justin Sinclair.
Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding? The book is actually called
It's named
Bark.
Bark.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit
I think we
up.
truly actually live in the Truman Show. The fact that this is reality, not some type of simulation or some fake reality like the Truman Show.
Are rules
It's
broken?
crazy.
Are rules broken down by breed? Like, are you like? Can you choose like what breed? I'm a Rottweiler.
I want to also add one more thing though.
I'm a poodle.
You got a specific bark in you.
Specific Bark.
I'm a Shih Tzu.
Unleash your inner Bark.
There's some crystals in their fucking car. Anyway,
So one more thing I was going to mention. So now, obviously, though, that can't take away from the fact that this is still a sexual thing. It's still like a form of BDSM, I guess, to a degree. It's a form of dominance and sub here. So there's another book, a sort of how-to manual on how to properly execute puppy play with your partner. And the name of this book, y'all want to guess?
fuck. What?
Is it a one word?
It's one word.
One what?
Woof.
Yes.
Like you fucking lied.
He's
Wolf by
great guess.
Wolf by
I mean,
Michael.
he said bar. The other day I gotta think.
I was never gonna come up with
Wolf
that.
by Michael Daniels.
I was like leash out. Oh my god,
Bro, I was cracking up when I read all that.
I just want you to understand that these people are allowed to vote.
Ain't that a
Buy
bitch? I thought the
properties,
same
that's what
thing.
I'm saying.
I literally said, I'm like, these people are allowed to make decisions that impact the world, and worst of all, they're allowed to procreate. Oh dear God,
As many times as they want.
that's fucking terrifying. I'm sorry, I know it's fucked up. Some people should not be allowed to procreate.
Do you think those books are like like New York Times sellers or something? Like best sellers?
I didn't look that far.
I wonder what the book sales are. Whatever, I'm not gonna. Next topic. So
yeah, perspective. If you were feeling stupid about your shit, that's a thing.
There's
Yeah.
people like
Someone dedicated their life to making a book about the origins of puppy play and called it Bark. Feel better about
We
yourself.
got bark, wolf. What's next? Rough.
Rough. Life is rough.
That movie, that's so stupid.
corny. Anyway, those of you who had armpit interest and I ragged on you, I apologize. Hearing this, I realized that you're not the worst out there. You guys are cool. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about this book that I've been reading, bro, recently. It's called Pimp, right? It's this book that Dave Chappelle put me on game on while I was watching one of his comedy shows, right? And he says that's one of the coolest capitalistic concepts that has ever been written, whatever. So I copped the book, and it's about this pimp named Iceberg Slim, right? And his journey, right, to become the greatest pimp that has ever been. Much like a Pokemon master, he tries to acquire the most hoes, right? than any other pimp before him, right? In order to become the best.
So
right?
instead of badges, what does he have? Burner cell phones? Bitch, where you at?
$100 bills in the place of badges. So it's a fucking interesting fucking read, and I recommend it to all of you out there who are trying to get into reading, but think there's nothing that catch your interest. There's not a possibility that this book does not inspire you.
Don't lie. You're trying to
think.
scout for the new generation of pimps.
No, nigga. What? Okay, you
It'll
caught
be
me.
down in the description for the book.
No, but the book definitely is a shocking read. You're not gonna go into it. It's not a cliche. It's not boring. It's not a slow build up. That shit takes off, and it takes off quick, motherfucker. So, right, what I mainly want to talk about was this: when he grows old enough to start pimping, right, and he has been put on game by some pimps that have been in the game for a while, some older pimps. He's like 17, 18 years old, and he tries to get at his first chick to turn her into one of his girls. So, right, these pimps actually say some interesting concepts while they're teaching him. Basically, that the way to make a girl yours, a woman yours, is to make her dependent upon you psychologically, right? You start there first. Once you psychologically submit her, then you will have her physically, right? So what's interesting here is he meets her, yada, yada, yada. At first, she's defiant, right? But he romances her by acting contrary to what she expected. She expected him to act like a simp because she was beautiful, right? Expected her to kind of kowtow towards her wills and her wants. And he pivoted in a different direction with his behavior by acting willful. That made her attracted to him. Typical.
He kept the leverage. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So a lot of this is a leverage game. Eventually, he dominates her by one, acting contrary to her belief. Two, making her dependent on him emotionally once he does woo her. And then three, right, he begins taking her physical objects away, like her money, right? And then gives her an allowance, making him the primary breadwinner, him the valuable one in the relationship. He disparages her and shit like that about the relationship. She feels worse about herself, but every time she feels worse, every time she slaps him, every time he kicks her ass, she comes back with this daddy shit. You know, she likes it. She comes back for more, right? Ish. So that got me thinking about Stockholm Syndrome, right? I don't know if you guys ever heard of Stockholm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, it's basically where the kidnapped or the person being
I always forget my sarcasm goes over your head.
I thought that was obvious.
I
I thought you were being sarcastic too.
well, whatever. For the audience who might not know, it's
I was
Stockholm
like,
syndrome
was
is
that bad
basically.
acting or
That's why I look-
sarcasm?
I didn't get your sarcasm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there might be some people out there don't know.
sure there
Stockholm
are.
syndrome is
like-
basically when somebody gets held captive, and then the person keeping them captive, right, against their fucking will, is treating them in a way somewhat good, and so at the end of the whole thing, they actually defend their captives or the captors rather. And even though they were really not trying to help them out, and it can get from medium levels to really like severe levels.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because you're dependent on this individual, you start to form an attachment. You're associating they're taking care of me, therefore
Yeah.
they care for me, and you forget that
and
they
you would go
captured you.
long ways to protecting them and defending them. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
brainwashing.
Yeah, essentially.
So that shit got me thinking. I'm like, so Stockholm syndrome traditionally, right, as a psychological concept, is supposed to be a rare instance. You don't really run into this a lot with kidnapped victims or etc. But really, I feel like there are a lot of examples of Stockholm syndrome that transpire in society and are not recognized for what they are. Here's some of the more interesting Stockholm syndrome cases I've read about. Right. So there's this one female, Patty Hearst, right. So this chick, this story attracted me because the details are wild. So she's in her hotel room, right, or her apartment with her husband, right, her fiance. They're about to get married. Some terrorists at the time, right, break into their apartment and kidnap her after beating the living shit out of her fiance. They're taking her because she's worth money and her fiance has bread. They're gonna ransom her to her family, right? So they take her throw in her trunk, take her captive, drive away after beating his ass. Tell me how they're looking for her. They're like, oh, where's Patty? We gotta save her. We gotta fucking pay. She ends up joining the terrorists after a while, right? And she starts robbing banks, even with the terrorists, right? Because the terrorists apparently, I guess he began to identify with their ideology, right? Whatever it was that they decided to fight for. Eventually, the terrorist leader who she was very attracted to was killed during a shootout, which she was also a part of. This movie shit. It's gangster as fuck, right? I can't imagine being the fiance. Imagine looking for, oh, they took my wife. I'm so worried. Is she on the news? Is she with that the one that whooped my ass?
It's intense.
Bruh. Betrayal. You feel hurt as the husband, right? You risked your life to save her from this. And now she's one of them?
Did you imagine getting to the end of Taken and the daughter was like, no, I'm gonna stay with him. He my new daddy.
Yo.
It's like when you're at the dinner table with,
Shoot her.
with your girl's dad and she said, pass me the salt, daddy, and you both
You
reach.
both reach. Your life ends.
Bro. Dog, I thought that was so fucked up. Anyway, they end up killing like the fucking leader of the terrorist group. And she ends up saying like, oh, like they don't deserve to go to prison. And she actually visits them in jail for a long time after they're in prison and shit.
That shit sticks with you. That-
Advocates for them to get freed.
you can break someone enough. I mean, shit, look at the same thing. Perfect example, Game of Thrones. Reek, you can break someone enough to such a fucking point that they're just a dog to you. They're
Reek
just
is the perfect example of Stockholm syndrome. As a matter of fact, you're absolutely right.
fucking A.
That is
Yeah,
just the
Reek.
poster child
Actually,
for-
yeah. Why didn't I think of Reek?
Ramsey had like a weird talent for that. Like he knew exactly how to break an individual.
Because he was a pimp.
and he was a sadistic fucker.
He's a pimp.
He was a
He's a
pimp.
pimp.
That's my whole point. Like, this is supposed to be a very rare instance of a psychological breakdown where someone tries to cope with abuse by painting their captor in a wonderful light, right? in a more positive light.
And that's also due to the fact that that captor has this ability to really fuck with you mentally and to really make you devalue yourself
Exactly.
and inflate this
And
persona
inflate,
that you see. of
yeah,
them, this-
deify your captive.
deify them. Yeah, you look
Exactly.
at them like they're that.
That shit is fucking fascinating because as you read through the book and how they describe leverage in order to create this instance of weakness in the person, they're creating weakness where there once was not psychologically in this person's profile. So, right, these people have mastered the greatest pimps, and there's some that have like 20, 30, 40 women doing their bidding in this book. They've mastered the art of breaking someone down and then molding them to serve them, right? Creating Stockholm syndrome. They're fabricating it systematically. I feel like it's strange that there's not more psychologists that have been like put on game on this, like in our research and some
sense?
shit like this. Because that doesn't seem like something that should be possible to do consistent the way they do.
Okay, now I'm a little confused by what we were asking because you're saying why aren't we on this? But the only way, the only way Stockholm syndrome happens is because people are captured, and we're trying to stop that.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like confused by what we're saying.
I'm not saying why aren't we doing it. I'm like, why aren't we like more? Why aren't we doing more research, right, upon the psychological impacts? Because I think Stockholm syndrome occurs in pimping, occurs in domestic
Because
abuse
mental health
issues.
is a greatly overlooked factor in our
right.
country.
We should be doing more research into shit like this. I think, right? Because I think not only
No,
is
I
it
agree with you, but
fascinating,
again, mental
be
health
helpful.
is something that is not taken seriously in this country. Like, for example, if you have a therapist, and if you have let's say you're seeing a therapist, trying to work through shit, if you disclose that you're having like thoughts of harming yourself or suicide, they're by law they have to fucking Baker Act you.
really.
Yes. The person you should be able to go to and tell this shit to, they can actually report and have you fucking committed to stop from hurting yourself. Even though ironically, that's place gonna
It's probably
probably
gonna make your exacerbate the issue.
yeah, mental health in this country is shit. Same thing with that. Like if you're like, yeah, we saved you, but just good luck with this syndrome.
Another good example, right? So like the house nigga during slavery, right? He was somebody that his profile, the Uncle Tom, right, would begin to favor the master over his own people, because he was given a better place to sleep. He was allowed to stay inside the house, special treatment, etc. Right? This is a form of Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
He
Yeah.
begins to love his own chains, right? Love his master, love the chains, and to the point where he's willing to sell his own people out and his
But could
master's
that
favor.
also just be a decision that you make to sell out your people, sure, because this is the only chance that you have at not having it as worse as you possibly can,
No,
So
I
maybe
would.
like a selfish
But that
act,
goes
not
into
so much
the-
Stockholm syndrome, because Stockholm syndrome is you truly care for that person. So I'm sure that maybe a lot of them did care for their masters and maybe like really protected them, but I'm sure that also a lot of them
Some
just like,
faked it. I'm sure.
some just like, listen, I gotta get it easy somehow. This is the only way. Fuck
Real
it.
Stockholm syndrome is to the
Yeah.
to the end. though.
Exactly.
For example, this chick here, Natasha, right? She was kidnapped on her way to school. Poor girl was fucking 10, right? So she's held in the cellar of this dude, in this dude's cellar, a dude named Wolfgang, right? Holds her in there for quite a while, right? Unfortunately, sexually molest her, all that crazy shit, makes her his pretend wife and shit. At first, she's held in the cellar for a long time, but eventually he gives her free reign to walk around
Little
the
by
house, little by little, right? Starts having breakfast with her, things like that, yada yada yada, having her do chores, and he's like her pretend wife. After quite a while, I think she's down there for like 3-4 years before she's finally given the opportunity. He allows her to like clean the rug of his BMW, and he goes off to do something else. And she's finally given the opportunity to like run to the neighbors, make herself like known, and they call the police. And once Wolfgang, the man who kidnapped her, realized what had happened and that he was likely going to go to prison for kidnapping, he throws himself in front of a fucking train, right? So
Well, that'll do it.
that'll do it, right? She was very distraught about his death, right? Asked to be left by his coffin, right, when he died. And not only that, keeps his picture in her wallet to this day. His picture in her wallet.
See, what makes that very interesting is because it's a very weird version of Stockholm syndrome. It's like it's almost like
Like she had to force herself to
yeah,
escape.
it's like she's saying emotionally, I do love you. That's the Stockholm part, but logically, I know this is wrong because if she sought help when he was gone, that means that it wasn't.
Part of her knew that this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
wrong.
Exactly. So she's at war with herself. That's interesting.
There's a contradiction there. I think
There's
there's
like an internal battle inside
there's
her
a
head.
brainwashing.
It's logic and emotion because, like, think about it. Like some people I think are self-aware and intelligent enough. They can recognize. Oh, let's say I see Stockholm syndrome happening. That doesn't mean you can stop it from happening. That's a feeling. It's an association. You can't stop that.
This chick that I wrote down here, her name was Mary. Oh fuck, she was fucking hitchhiking, which was a bad idea, right? And a fucking couple. I guess she jumped in their car because the couple had a daughter in the car, right? And the daughter was relatively young, so I guess she felt like, oh, it's a man and a wife, and their kid. They can't be dangerous. Wrong, right? They were. So they kidnapped her ass, right? And they sexually molested her, all that crazy shit. You know, she's like 17, 18 at the time. They kept her for like 4 years, you know, threatened her, shit like that, subjugated her. There was one point where the hooker, who was the man, right, after like abusing her and shit, gave her like a gun, right, with no bullets in it, and told her to put it in her mouth and pull the trigger, and she did, right? But there was no bullets in it, and that was supposed to be like an act of loyalty. So the poor girl was fucked up. So after all these years, and this is what I'm saying, he then felt good enough about her subjugation to him, you know, to take her back to her family, right? After 4 years, leave her there. And she didn't snitch. She didn't say anything. You know, she just sat there, ate dinner with her family, enjoyed her time, left her there overnight. And then came back, picked her up, and went right back to the life she was living with these 3 crazy bastards until finally the wife of the captor felt bad and let that girl free.
That's fucking crazy.
So it's a real thing.
That's
People will protect their captors, stay silent when they have the opportunity to be free. When literally freedom is there right in front of them, they'll refuse.
Yeah, because your brain's an association machine. You're associating this person taking care of you with, oh, that must mean you care. It's a good thing.
So that computer, that's our brain, is just going all over the fucking place. Doesn't know how to break down.
We're just built to make associations.
Yeah.
That's all we really are.
I think
We're not as aware as we think we are. Then
I think
We're as in
what this
control.
teaches us is that happiness is relative, right? And the human brain will, if there's no light in your life, it will latch on to anything that it can interpret as positive to create that light, even if it's not
To
real.
cope.
To cope. So even if you're in a terrible situation and you're being kidnapped, etc., if your captor shows you just a little bit of kindness, which isn't real, your brain will latch onto it to create a positive relationship so you don't go crazy.
Yeah, going like with the slavery thing you were mentioning, it's he was treating us all like shit, but you're gonna treat me like crap. Ooh, promotion.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you start thinking, oh, this is good now, when he's just treating you slightly less shittier.
I was reading a book, right? And one of the characters said something dope. He tells a story about 2 men that were blind sitting on top of a mountain looking at the sunset. And one blind man asked the other, can happiness be taken from a man? One says yes, the other says no. The one that says that blindness can't be taken from a man argues, just because we're blind doesn't mean that happiness can be taken. I can still taste beauty, you know, the beauty of a steak well made. I can still hear a symphony and hear the beauty of a symphony, etc. I can still feel the caress of a beautiful woman and know her to be great, etc., so on and so forth. And then the other man that says no says, what if you're burned, you can't feel? What if your tongue is cut out, you can't taste? What if you're deaf, you can't hear, so on and so forth? He says, well, then it's pain, right? So how do you feel? How do you know happiness? Does the pain oscillate? Is it different some days? Is the pain more significant other days and less significant others? And happiness is when you're feeling less pain.
That's a very low threshold.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But
that's-
then I get it. I get because there's
That's how you
really
interpret
low
it.
Sure.
Right? I guess that's
know.
what it is for these captives. You know, they feel less pain in these extreme situations, and then their brain is so often in the situation they begin to interpret less pain as happiness,
Interesting.
which I thought was
fucking
dope. I wanted to talk about that on the show. I really want people to like delve into these more interesting psychological concepts, you know, and see how they feel about it. I'd love for some of y'all to get in the comments and say what you think about this whole situation, why these people do what they do. It is really interesting. I hope to bring more shit like this to the show every now and again.
I agree. It's fun.
And on that note, guys, that's going to be a wrap. I can't wait for our next episode. I'm promised to read more shit, hopefully about pimping.